Legendary Inoue family members to get involved in tribal combat. Update on the New Day's WWE status. Randy Orton breaks silent amid WWE hiatus. Ex-WWE star arrested. Sami Zayn defeating Roman Reigns numbers on Raw. Jey Uso dethrones Roman Reigns at SummerSlam 2023 and immediately drops the title, and more. Let's jump right into it. Dominic Mysterio loses his NXT North American title due to a massive betrayal. Bill Apter believes Damian Priest could shock the world by cashing in his MITB contract on NXT North American champion Dominic Mysterio. Dominic winning the North American title on last week's NXT surprised fans, as none had expected him to dethrone Wes Lee. However, thanks to timely interference from his Judgment Day stablemates, the 26-year-old secured the win. While all the members of the stable are at the top of their games, they haven't looked like they are always on the same page, including on the latest NXT. On the latest episode of Sportskeeda's Unscripted, Bill Apter explained that Judgment Day's dissension could result in a major betrayal. Apter added that he could see Damian Priest cashing in his MITB contract to win the NXT North American title from Dominic Mysterio. Damian Priest might cash in on Dominic down the line. I think so. Maybe not going after the world title or the universal title, but maybe the NXT North American title, said Bill Apter. While he recently won the NXT North American Championship, Dominic has already found himself in an unfavorable situation. The 26-year-old will put his title on the line against Wes Lee and Mustafa Ali at NXT Great American Bash. Dominic Mysterio was initially scheduled to defend his gold only against Ali. However, upon Rhea Ripley's suggestion, he made it a triple threat match by adding Lee into the equation. Though he sounded confident while addressing it in the ring, Dominic looked slightly concerned while talking to Ripley backstage about her decision. It remains to be seen how things go down at Great American Bash on July 30th, and if Dominic will come out with the gold intact on his waist after the show. What do you make of Bill Apter's take on Damian Priest cashing in his MITB contract on Dominic Mysterio? Sound off in the comments section below. Update on the New Day's WWE status. WWE superstar Xavier Woods has given an update on the New Day's status and when they could be back on TV. The group also includes Kofi Kingston and Big E, who are both currently out of action due to an injury. Both stars are also former WWE champion, and along with Woods, they've won numerous tag team titles. It's been a while since all three men were together on an episode of Raw or SmackDown. Speaking to Josh Martinez on the Superstar Crossover podcast, Xavier Woods mentioned that his teammates, Kofi Kingston and Big E, are sidelined with an injury, but they'll be back in due time. So Kofi Kingston had ankle surgery, right? So during that WWE draft, came over to Raw and had some matches with Dom, Mysterio, and then I've just been getting big at home. But the thing that people don't see is all the stuff that we do outside of the ring, and we have been working relentlessly on so many other things, and so we'll be back in due time. We'll be back in due time, said Woods. WWE currently has factions such as the Judgment Day and LWO, filled with talented stars. There have also been several main roster call-ups this year. Xavier Woods spoke about how the landscape of wrestling has changed recently and stated that the New Day could pop back in to reclaim their spot. If you look at wrestling, the landscape has changed, and I love when it changes because it comes at a slow pace, and then all of a sudden, you see all these faces are faces that have only been there for like 6 months, or a year and a half, and that's what's kind of happening right now. So many people are filtering in, and so as people filter in and they get established, and the crowd gets to know who they are, then all of a sudden, New Day, we're back on the attack. Gotta make space for the New Day. This month marks 9 years since the New Day was formed in WWE. They're undoubtedly one of the greatest teams in the company's history. Would you like to see the New Day back in WWE? Sound off in the comments below. Randy Orton breaks silence amid WWE hiatus. Randy Orton has kept a low profile during his ongoing WWE hiatus. However, the 14-time champion recently made his presence felt on social media. The Legend Killer was last seen in action over a year ago when he and Matt Riddle took on the Usos in a tag title unification match. The babyfaces were attacked by the Bloodline after the match, which was the kayfabe reason to write Orton off WWE programming, as he had been dealing with back injuries and needed time off for surgery. Randy is seemingly all healed up now and could soon make his return to the squared circle, with SummerSlam looking like the most likely option. However, nothing can be confirmed as of now, as the Legend Killer has been laying low and is rarely seen in public. The last few sightings of Orton have been on his wife's Instagram handle. The 14-time world champion also made a rare comment on Kim's recent post. Randy Orton is widely considered one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. The Legend Killer has been greatly missed inside the squared circle, with fans eagerly waiting for him to make a comeback after over a year. While there is no news on what WWE has in store for the 14-time world champion upon his return, Matt Riddle expressed his desire to form a faction with his former partner in Edge. You got Cody, he's a stallion. You know, if Randy ever comes back, that would be awesome. Edge, you know, for a minute, I want to do Rated R with bro, you know, but yeah, I would love to be in a group, even if it is some dudes from NXT. They come up, I take them under the little bro wing and take them onto the main roster, and they help me and I help them. Who knows? I don't. I plant a lot of seeds. heat, added Riddle. Riddle and Randy Orton were one of the hottest acts in WWE before the latter had to take a break due to health issues. It'll be interesting to see if the duo reunite upon the 14-time world champion's return. Gunther sends a message ahead of his upcoming showdown against Drew McIntyre. Intercontinental Champion Gunther has finally met his match in the form of former WWE Champion Drew McIntyre. The two stalwarts are set to collide at SummerSlam, and the ring general sent a one-word message ahead of the same. Gunther and Drew McIntyre started feuding when the Scottish Warrior made a huge return at Money in the Bank to confront his WrestleMania 39 opponent. McIntyre made it clear that he intends to go after the Intercontinental Championship, a title that has been with the ring general for over 400 days. Now, as SummerSlam inches closer, the ring general took to Twitter to hype up his upcoming bout. He uploaded a promo poster of the bout with the caption, "SummerSlam. SummerSlam," Gunther wrote. Drew McIntyre and Gunther also collided on the latest edition of Monday Night Raw, as the former interrupted a segment featuring Imperium and wanted the ring general to put his Intercontinental title on the line. However, the latter denied it and told McIntyre to face him at the biggest party of the summer. The duo were soon interrupted by Ludwig Kaiser, who stepped in and later got challenged to a fight by the Scottish Warrior. Drew picked up the victory via pinfall after delivering a claymore. However, the Imperium jumped into the squared circle and attacked the former WWE champion. Gunther delivered a suplex to McIntyre and pounded on him with the aid of Giovanni Vinci. Matt Riddle came out to make the save but ate a boot from the ring general for his effort. However, McIntyre turned the tides and the segment ended with Drew McIntyre putting Gunther through the announce table after being out of in-ring action for a long time. SummerSlam is the golden opportunity for Drew McIntyre to not only complete his unfinished business with the Imperium leader, but also win a prestigious title. The ring general is closing in on Honky Tonk Man's historic IC title reign and is most likely to surpass it if he manages to beat the former WWE champion. Ex-WWE star arrested. A former WWE superstar and pro wrestling veteran was recently arrested for driving under the influence of drugs. Pro wrestling legend Buff Bagwell was in the limelight last year after he stood up for AEW star Nyla Rose and the LGBTQ+ community. He was pretty active on Twitter back then and suddenly gained a lot of new fans courtesy of his wholesome tweets and his support for marginalized communities. It was later revealed that Bagwell's account was being handled by his social media manager Michael Long, who quit the job for various reasons. About a year after the fiasco, Bagwell is in trouble again. As pointed out by Wrestling News, Bagwell was arrested earlier this month. The former WWE/WCW star was charged with speeding and driving under the influence of drug. After WCW folded, Buff Bagwell accepted an offer from WWE and signed a deal with the promotion. His stint lasted for a couple of days. He lost a WCW World Title match to Booker T on July 1, and their second bout ended in a draw on July 2. When Bagwell arrived on Raw a week later, he was told that he was let go by the company because of complaints about his behavior. 2 years ago, Bagwell appeared on Who the Fuck Are These Guys and slammed WWE Hall of Famer Jim Ross for being responsible for his release. But you had a guy that called you up and said, "Don't come to these shows and act like my mother called to get me out of them. Now you've cost me millions of dollars and you're a flyer. The facts that he called me up told me to stay home," said Bagwell. Judging by the latest news about his arrest, Bagwell doesn't seem to be doing well. Here's hoping things work out for the veteran and he works towards getting his life back on track soon. Were you a fan of Buff Bagwell back in the day? Sound off. Sami Zayn defeating Roman Reigns numbers on Raw. Since turning his back on Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn has received a lot of love from the WWE Universe. When Zayn and Owens beat the Usos at WrestleMania 39 to become tag team champions, that match took Zayn's popularity to a whole new level. The same was evident this week on Raw. On the latest episode of the Red Brand, Zayn faced Dominic Mysterio for his NXT North American Championship. Despite putting in a commendable effort, Zayn fell short. However, the match peaked with close to 2 million viewers. This led to many questioning whether Zayn defeated Roman Reigns in terms of rating. The answer to such a question would be no. Reigns' appearances on Raw have generated a lot more viewership. The Tribal Chief's last appearance on the Red Brand came on July 25th, 2023, during a match with the Street Profits. While the Bloodline won the match, 2,019,000 viewers tuned in to watch Roman compete. Such has been the star power of Roman Reigns. Since becoming the Tribal Chief, he has achieved the kind of popularity that very few wrestlers can claim. Currently on SmackDown, the 38-year-old is playing a crucial role along with the Usos and Solo Sikoa on the Blue Brand. This week's Raw is not going to be the most memorable one for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. When the former was facing Dominic Mysterio for the North American Championship, Owens and the Judgment Day were ringside. However, due to chaos and interference, Owens, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest were all ejected. The match between Zayn and Mysterio continued with no one at ringside. While both competitors had their moments, it seemed like Sami Zayn had the match in his pocket towards the end. But just before he could end things, Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest put a beating on Kevin Owens backstage and threw him on the ramp. This led to Sami Zayn being distracted. expected. Taking advantage, Dominic rolled up the 39-year-old and retained the title. After the match, Owens was seen being attended by the medics. Per Dave Meltzer, KO is suffering from a legitimate injury. Speaking more about it, Meltzer said, "It's a fractured rib. He's actually been working on it for a while, and it was just one of those things where they were waiting for a time to finish up whatever they were finishing up and they were gonna do. I don't know if they were always gonna do this angle, but they were gonna do something." Meltzer further added, "He's gonna get a rest. I don't know how long, and I don't know what the status of the tag team titles are. I'm sure that'll probably all be addressed in the next couple of days, but he's been working on alleged injuries, so that's the basic gist of the story there." Owens' injury will be a massive blow for him and Sami Zayn. Since becoming the tag team champions, the duo have enjoyed a very dominant reign and have defended their title on multiple occasions. However, with this injury to Owens, times will be tough for them. It will be interesting to see what the future holds for Owens and Zayn. Jey Uso dethrones Roman Reigns at SummerSlam 2023 and immediately drops the title. Hall of Fame journalist Bill Apter recently spoke about the possibility of Damian Priest cashing in his Money in the Bank contract on Jey Uso after he defeats Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal title. Since unlocking the ITB briefcase earlier this month, Priest has become one of the biggest stars in the promotion. Though he's hinted at cashing in his contract on World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins on Raw, he has made it known he also has his eyes on Roman Reigns' undisputed WWE Universal title. On the latest episode of Sportskeeda's Unscripted, Bill Apter presented an intriguing scenario for Damian Priest at SummerSlam 2023. Apter explained that first, Jimmy Uso would come to the aid of his brother Jey Uso to dethrone Roman Reigns. He added that following this, Damian Priest will show up to capitalize on a weakened Jey and cash in the contract to win the title. Think about this. SummerSlam. Jey Uso is getting killed by Roman Reigns, and all of a sudden, out of the hospital, here comes Jimmy. Jimmy interferes, and Jey wins the title. Damian Priest sees the injured Jey Uso there because he was getting killed until his brother helped him and cashes in and takes the belt, said Bill Apter. Speaking on the Busted Open radio podcast, Tommy Dreamer stated that he wanted to see other members of the Simone family be part of the audience during Jey and Reigns' match at SummerSlam 2023. He mentioned Afa, Seka, Rikishi, and Tamina among those who could be present during the bout. I would like to see a lot of the elders there. I would love to see Afa and Seka there. I would load up as many former WWE superstars. I would love to see The Rock's mom there. Dreamer continued, I'd like to see Tamina brought back to television. She's still with the company. Tom the Kid, Sami, Rikishi. Rikishi is a key part of this as well because of the boys, his son. It's gonna be a big moment. That's what I'd like to see. Sort of a Game of Thrones. Sitting in giant chairs, watching it. Have to bow to the elders before you get into the match. Something to that effect I think would be a cool thing. Regardless of who wins, it's safe to say Roman Reigns and Jey Uso would leave no stone unturned to have a match that could surpass their previous clashes. What do you make of Bill Apter's pitch about Damian Priest winning the undisputed WWE Universal title at SummerSlam 2023? Sound off in the comments section below. Legendary Inoue family members to get involved in tribal combat. The main event of SummerSlam 2023 is among the most anticipated matches in recent WWE history, as Roman Reigns takes on Jey Uso in tribal combat. The undisputed WWE Universal Championship will be on the line as the two cousins finally battle it out. This match has the attention of the Inoue family, especially since the elders ordered tribal combat between Reigns and Jey. The challenger's father, Rikishi, also seems excited about SummerSlam. He quote-tweeted the tribal chief's post about the match with a short message for both men. Quite a few fans responded to the WWE Hall of Famer's message to Roman Reigns and Jey Uso on Twitter. They want Rikishi to get involved at SummerSlam, potentially as the special guest referee. The rules of tribal combat indicate no blood relative can interfere in the match. However, it remains to be seen if any of them are allowed to be the referee to ensure it stays a fair fight. While Rikishi may very well show up at SummerSlam, another legendary cousin would be a better choice as the referee. With SummerSlam completing the trilogy between the cousins, Jey Uso is yet to be pinned by Roman Reigns in this series. Both matches in the fall of 2020 ended in controversial circumstances. Jimmy Uso threw in the towel at Clash of Champions when Jey refused to give up. A month later, Jimmy's interference would prove costly again as Reigns put him in the guillotine choke to force main event Jey to say, "I quit." This time though, his twin may not get involved. Jimmy Uso was taken out by Solo Sikoa a few weeks ago. Couple that with the rules of tribal combat, and it looks like Jey Uso will fight alone. He does have the momentum though, pinning Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank. However, the head of the table may emerge victorious, continuing his monumental reign as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Reigns is rumored to hold the belt all the way to WrestleMania 40, where he could face Cody Rhodes in a rematch from this year's show of shows. Who will win at SummerSlam? Roman Reigns or Jey Uso? Leave your predictions in the comments section below.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me